So, just weeks after beating Coach Miyagino to a nomination for a seat on the sumo board, Coach Asakayama gets his chance to comment on the Hokuseiho affair, and use it to conveniently explain why coaches like him deserve that seat on the board. The key quotes from his piece in the Nikkei newspaper are as follows. What Hokuseiho did is unforgivable. We all have moments when an attendant disappoints with his standard of work, but rather than take things out on him, we should channel that energy into yet harder training. When wrestlers reach salaried level, they tend to get pampered a lot and get egos inflated by those around them. So a master really has to hammer home the importance of humility before the wrestler makes it big. As Coach Miyagino likes to recruit from the student elite and get those lads promoted quickly, he should have worked yet harder in the limited time he gave himself to instill proper values in those lads. The salaried wrestlers must be the stable role models. When my own Kaisho rose to salaried level, I drummed into him more than anything else that it's not just about the winning. The stronger you get, the more sumo fans and the media focus on what you're like off the dohyo too. I know well that sumo recruits include the odd bad apple, and when they endlessly interact with other diverse characters under the same sumo roof, some degree of trouble is almost guaranteed. Which is why a master must immediately report such trouble to sumo chiefs and consult with them on the action to take. Now, when trouble goes on behind a master's back, you need a stable environment in which wrestlers feel at ease reporting it. The master also needs senior wrestlers he can rely on in his absence, and it's definitely his job to develop as many such men as he can. The man I'd uphold as the ideal stable master is the ex-sumo chairman and previous coach Musashigawa. He had that silent authority about him that just commanded the room whenever he walked into training. And yet the time I went drinking with him, he allowed his boys to speak freely and even tell the odd joke. He showed me you don't need to be scary all the time, only when you're angry. I understand the stable system is under fire right now, but so long as masters and coaches pay attention to changes in wrestlers' moods, and other wrestlers can tell the master if a colleague seems somewhat off, it should be more than alright. I get too that kawaigari, or sumo's version of tough love, is giving a bad impression, but it's supposed to be born from affection given to juniors by seniors and coaches. Without that, I don't see how a wrestler can ever get really strong. If you start bringing compliance rules into the sphere of traditional sumo training, I don't see how we can even train. As a professional coach and ex-professional wrestler, I assure you I know where to draw the line. I hope Coach Miyagino learns from the Hokuseiho affair that a stable master's job is no cakewalk, and now want him to deeply reflect before starting off anew. Should any further scandal occur on his sumo watch, I imagine there's no future for him here. Well then, sumo fans, plenty of points to chew over there. And although the piece is unusually long, I still don't feel there's enough detail there. How do you go about forming flatter, stable relations in a rigidly strict hierarchy? And what are those lines that are drawn exactly? As for Miyagino stable right now, all we know is this. The wrestlers are training hard under interim leader Tamagaki, and have already told local eateries that they won't be dining out this time. Neighborhood folk have noticed that all seems strangely quiet, but even if all men behave faultlessly throughout this Osaka tournament, that may not be enough to save the stable. A breakup is still being mooted, it seems, and as no one stable in the Isegahama group is big enough to take in the full Miyagino gang, the wrestlers face being parceled off.